We're just getting older, world is getting colder. Trying to get sober, Lord help me get stronger. World is on my shoulders. How you doing today? This is the 12 of 12 podcast, a podcast about real life recovery, growth and development, redemption, because that's what this is about. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please do me a favor, tap that subscribe button and share for more. Also, we are sponsored by First Step Recovery. If you need any help with substance abuse disorder, severe mental illness, or a loved one you might know, please don't hesitate to reach out to them today. You see the number up top of our outreach specialists. Contact them. They'll be happy to help you. We have a special guest today, Rico.
How you doing?
How you doing, brother? Appreciate you coming on the show, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you having me, bro.
Hey, man. Thanks a lot, man. So tell me, Rico, where you from, bro?
I'm originally from Columbus, Indiana.
Columbus, Indiana?
It's about like an hour and a half away from here.
Oh, from an hour and a half from Louisville?
Yeah.
Yeah, so how is it up there? How long you lived up there before you came down here?
I went to middle school down in Columbus, Indiana. And then I went to high school down here. I went to Fern Creek.
Okay, Fern Creek?
Yeah.
What's the difference between from you being in Indiana and Louisville? How was the change?
As far as Columbus and Louisville, I mean it's a pretty big difference. You know, Columbus, Indiana, it's mainly like white populated. I mean, you're gonna have some black people and things like that, but you know, coming from something like that to Louisville, a bigger city, you know, you got pretty much every race, not just white people. You got, you know, everybody in between.
Multicultural, basically.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a pretty big difference for sure.
Do you like it more in Louisville than you do Columbus, Indiana?
I wouldn't say I like it more, but I do prefer big cities rather than, you know, a small city.
Cause you like to move, a little bit more emotion.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I feel you on that. Yeah. So, is your mom and dad around? Was your mom and dad in your life?
Yeah, growing up, my mom, me and my dad, my dad, I've always looked up to my dad and, you know, seen him as like a superhero kind of guy and just always looking up to him and things like that. But my mom, you know, it was always just me and her growing up, you know, up until, like I said, you know, elementary school. And then that's when I moved in with my stepfather. Things kind of happened to where me and her relationship kind of like faded off because of him, you know. And I do love her and miss her. Wish things that were, you know, were better. But yeah, that's how it is right now.
Yeah. Hopefully that's something that you can work on in the future.
Yeah, for sure.
Just continue one of your goals, right?
Yeah, for sure.
No, that's right. The moms, if you see this, you hear him out here, man. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah.
Most definitely. Do you have any siblings?
No, I was the only child. I had I had a step brother, but other than that, I've been the only child.
So been kind of lonesome a little bit.
Yeah.
Have you ever used before? Drunk alcohol, anything before?
Yeah. You know, I drank, you know, alcohol and smoked weed and, you know, things of that nature. And
how did it affect you when you first used it? Used the substance?
I really started smoking weed before anything. And I guess, you know, growing up, they always tell you, you know, it's a gateway. You know, smoke a weed, hey, you know, you might not want to do this because it's a gateway to other things. And I mean, more 9 times out of 10, I mean, a lot of times they are right about that, because then you got other people, you might not do this, but you got friends that do, because they dibbled and dabbled with it. So now they trying to get you on it, and you're like, well, maybe I'll just try it. You know, maybe I'll just try it and see if I like it. And then, you know, it goes from there. But you know, I just really started smoking weed at, you know, probably like 13, 14, something like that. And,
yeah. A lot of people always say like it's the gateway drug, especially when you're younger. You know what I'm saying? I know they have it for medical uses now. We know that for medical uses, but at the same time, if it's I mean, if the doctor's not even prescribing it to you, then it's best not to do it. If you're young, you definitely don't need to be doing it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because influences, your brain's developing, it's the worst state to do anything. Just don't do anything ever, but I'm just saying, especially when you're young, don't be influenced and things like that, you know what I'm saying? It's easy to fall to it. I know that's how I was, and like I said, you start with one thing,
it's all in the group, you know what I'm saying? You got people who smoke weed over here, and next thing you know, you got people popping shrooms who hanging out. They smoke weed and pop shrooms, and next thing you know, you pop trying to hey, man, you wanna try the shrooms, man, over here? Bang, pop the shrooms. Now you hallucinating. I was like, dang, what the heck is this? Now you doing that. So now you drinking,
real
hanging out
DBs.
Yeah.
That shit either. It's just not cool, not fun, not none of that,
bro.
you know?
That junk is crazy. It opened up gateways to it, and spiritual gateways, demonic entities to enter things like that. And when they say they're seeing these things, it's not just hallucinating. You seeing something. You seeing it opens your eyes. I believe personally to another realm, and things like that. Man, it's dangerous. It's dangerous stuff. That's why you have people who will be like, oh yeah, you go on a trip. You might go on a bad trip. Next thing you know, this person never comes back.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, sometimes you have a bad trip and you just. That's why you see some people walking on the streets and they just psyched out. All the way psyched out. They don't even know where they're at, what's going on, or stuff like that. And it's just, it's not even worth the risk.
Nah, it's not cool. And then, like you said, another bad thing is they'll be like, you have people who know them before and be like, man, they used to be this way. Man, they used to be so cool, or they was, man, so smart. And now look at them. Yeah. And then they be like, yeah, just one day they just flipped. You know what I'm saying? You hear that so many times, and it's dangerous out there. It's a big argument for some people. It isn't the gateway drug, but majority of the people experiment to more things. At least one thing more, or two things more, and down the hill, they start off with marijuana use. So we can't go off of the not what's normal. You know, it's not normal that people just do weed and that's it.
Yeah.
Normally they're gonna do that. They're gonna pop some pills. They're gonna do some coke. They're gonna drink. They're gonna do something else besides weed. You barely ever hear someone just smoke weed, and then all of a sudden, that's all they ever do. They're gonna try something else, and someone when they
at
try
least once,
at least one time, bro, because you already went to the weed, so it's like, you know what, I might as well try something else. How is it gonna hurt? And some people, they just get addicted to whatever they try. Some people, the gateway, once they smoke, and then next thing you know is the alcohol, and then they try the alcohol, and then bang. Now they might not even smoke like that. They might become full-blown alcoholics. Yeah. So it's just something to stay away from. Kids, stay away from it. Grown-ups, stay away from it too. You know, unless you got a medical prescription, whatever it is. But it's not safe out there too, man. Because once again, I have to say that they have been finding fentanyl and weed in vapes, and people have been passing away.
Yeah, no, my dad. This was probably, I think this was about like a year or two ago, like something recent. And my dad, he had got some weed in. And I guess it was laced with fentanyl. This was in Indianapolis. Like, it was actually a big pandemic going on down in Indianapolis because of that. And
you mean like with weed and fentanyl?
Yeah, weed was inside the fentanyl. They laced.
I mean, the fentanyl in the weed. Sorry.
Yeah.
So it's a big thing now.
I mean, in Indianapolis, it was like a pandemic.
What?
Like, they was lacing weed with fentanyl. And my dad, he had smoked it in the car. And I guess what he told me was all he remembers was he was driving, and everything just went black. Like, he actually flatlined, and they had to Narcan him a few times, and he was he was on the side of the road, and someone had to come in and bust his windows. And
what?
Yeah, this was just like a year or two ago, and yeah.
Dang, see, and they say that stuff on the news, man, and that's why it's so serious out here, man. Listen, I don't want to see nobody die. You know, this isn't back, I have to say, it's not back in the day. You buy bud, you straight, you just smoke a little weed, might get a little high, get a little hungry, something like that. These days, you smoke a little weed, you die. Yeah. You're playing, you know what I'm saying?
Playing with fire.
Anything you buy off of the streets, you're playing with, I don't care what it is. If you're buying a pill, if your friend gives you something, just don't trust anything. If you're not getting it from a doctor, people. If you're not, don't play with your life, man. That's crazy that you say that, man, because a lot of people take it as a game, like, oh, you know what, man? Matter of fact, we were passing our Narcan not too long ago, right? And when we were passing it out, one of the people like, oh, I don't want no Narcan, man. I don't do no other stuff like that. Well, you never know, you know what I'm saying? It could be in weed or anything. Nah, man. I'm not worried about that, man. My people straight. You think your people straight. You think your people, and that's the thing about it. A lot of people don't even know that, okay, listen, if it's coming off this boat, you know what I'm saying, that these people might do something. The dude that you gets the weight.
Yeah.
If he's not breaking it down, he's not looking at the, you know what I'm saying? Okay, might lit it, test it, you know what I'm saying? All of it might not touch, all of the fentanyl might not touch certain parts of the bud. So they might smoke a joint or something. Okay, yeah, that's some good bud. Pass it along, sell it to their little people. They pass it along. And then next thing you know, you got, let's just say out of a pound, let's just say you got 4 ounces that got actual some type of fentanyl in it.
Yeah.
So you got some of the people who's smoking it and they're good, and then the other ones who's smoking it, they're dead. It's
Yeah,
like a 50,
that ain't-
you just don't know.
Yeah, it's
You know, and
messed
it's
up, too.
and it might not even be that a person's trying to lace it up and kill you. I mean, you know, to
They
take
might
you
not
out
even
the-
know what they doing.
They might not even know. You know what I'm saying? There's
Yeah.
so many times that I heard, and some of the people here came in the show was like, "Hey, they got this drug from their friend," and it was like, "Oh, you're straight," and then they die. Their friend died. You know what I'm saying? So they're not trying to take the life of their friend. They got it for somebody they trusted. And pretty much that person that they trusted probably got it for somebody they trusted.
Yeah.
And so on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But somewhere down the line, somebody's doing some real shiesty activity. And that shiesty activity is taking lives. And it's a bigger thing like that, you know?
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad too.
Yeah, man.
It's definitely sad.
Yeah, a lot of parents lost their children, a lot of children lost their parents behind it. So what's your drug of choice that you did ever using? Like what was your favorite drug?
But I'm gonna say just alcohol.
Alcohol?
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I really didn't drink that much either. Like growing up, you know, but I lived in LA for a little bit. I moved to LA back when COVID started. I make music, so I went down there and you know, being down there, like I was in Skid Row. I don't know if you ever heard of Skid Row, but
I think I heard of it before.
it's like the worst part to
Yeah.
be in. And I was down there because my uncle, he lives down there, my uncle Edwin. And, you know, being outside all night, everybody just, you know, the OGs, the unks, everybody just posted up, drinking, having a little bottle. And, you know, it became like a everyday thing down there. And I came back to Louisville, you know, and I brought those habits with me. You know, drinking a beer, and a beer in one night turns into another beer, and then I'm trying to get a little bottle of E&J, and then, you know, so I would say alcohol for sure.
How did alcohol affect you while you was on it? Did it affect you negatively in a way?
Looking back at it, I would say, I mean, for sure, but like I would always use it like any type of substance, like for more like creativity purposes, like being in the studio and just, you know, trying to be creative. But I mean, yeah, drinking sometimes, you know, I don't know. That's a good question. I really don't know. And it's probably something I should look into, you know, as far as just myself, you know, because I really don't know, you know. I always try to be just a good person, just all around.
Try the best.
You know, even though I do have moments, you know, which we all can probably relate to, where it's, you know, I do spaz out on my girlfriend, or I do spaz out on this, but I think it's more or less not the alcohol or the substance, but it's just more or less like how I'm feeling inside.
Something going on in your spiritual, you feel that has you kind of like ration out.
Yeah.
And maybe, you know what I'm saying? So the sometimes alcohol might enhance it a little bit, have you feel a little bit more down when you're doing it. I know, man, I used to get drunk, man. Sometimes I'm shedding tears.
Yeah.
I'm going through it, make you think, you know what I'm saying? It puts you down and has you in your moments. You know what I'm saying? But it also shows you, like, you know what, man? When you think about it, you know what, man? It is something within myself that I need to work out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of people like to use it for creativity. I know I used to make music too. What type of music you make?
I consider myself to be like The Weeknd. Like
The
The
so you sing
Weeknd.
and think like a pop and
Yeah, but
pop
mixed
type?
with like Future. So like The
Okay.
Weeknd mixed with Future.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely involved in definitely in like music and things like that, and that type of culture. Just any music culture, majority of the time, it's some type of substance being used.
Yeah.
Some way, some shape, some form, some type of substance is being used.
Yeah.
And it's used because it seems to bring out your more creative side.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think people feel that way because you get to a point where you don't really care. It's like, you know what? I'm just gonna let it go. You might have second thoughts of doing something, like, you know what I'm saying this or how is this gonna sound, this, that, when you're sober. But then when you're under some type of influence, you care less. It just seems like you care less. You get a little freely. You get a little more bolder, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
You ever been here for the karaoke chat, right? Cause you recently.
Oh no, I was here on Friday.
Oh, you was here for the karaoke.
Yeah, I was here on Friday.
So how did you like that? How was that? Because that's interesting to say that, because that we went this route, because, you know, the purpose of that also is for people to be able to step out this comfort zone. You know, like, okay, I could go and do this. I could hop on stage. I could step out of the comfort zone, out of my element that I'm used to, without having to take some type of substance.
Yeah.
To do it.
I don't know. I thought I enjoyed myself. You know, it's fun seeing everybody get up there and just have fun and just be loose and, you know, sing their hearts out. I was thinking about getting on there and singing some Lil Wayne. Some How to Love. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking about getting on there and singing
Why
some
you ain't
How to
get on
Love.
there, bro?
I don't know. I was just chilling. I was just chilling for real.
You performed before?
I've never performed it.
Oh no?
Yeah, a lot of my music is like it's pretty much unreleased. So I'm just waiting for you know, kind of like funds to get right, so I can really push my music the way I want to.
Okay, fast. You should try it out next time you get karaoke. Just go out there and try it out.
Just turn up.
Yeah, just turn up and just see how it feels in front of a crowd. Also, they have you know, you could play your original stuff too.
I was thinking that.
Like if you got your stuff, you could go up there and do your original bit if you want to.
Yeah, I was thinking about playing, you know, a song or two. Cause I've been making music since I was like 16. So I got over I probably got 1,000, 2,000 songs.
Oh, nice.
Just been recording, just going crazy.
Definitely, bro, man. Hey, step out of the element. That's what it's about, doing better and showing that being sober can actually be fun. So many people think it's just like, oh, I don't know if I should. What would this person think?
Yeah.
You know, and ultimately I realize it's a lot of fear that stops a person from pursuing their dreams of what if a person might not like this or say this or how they might feel. At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you're never gonna have everybody like what you do.
Yeah, it's facts. I mean, the way I look at it is like, you know, it don't matter what you're doing as far as, you know, whether it's music or this or that. You know, if you got people that's kind of hating on you a little bit, like, bro, like, what are you doing? Like, you know, you're doing something right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If like you getting some type of like opposition where it's like you can either feel the energy of people like kind of like hating on it or just actually getting real feedback, that means you're doing something right.
Yeah, facts.
You know, because if not, they just, you know, when they say nothing.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it. Like, especially like who I'm going to be. I was gonna say trying to be, but not even trying to be. But it's who I'm gonna be. It's like I'm like super controversial. So it's like I already know the type of hate that's gonna come with it, but it's like I don't even pay attention to it.
Yeah,
just roll over with it.
Yeah, like this old saying, like water off a duck's back, you know, it just flows. Just let it, hey, what they say, just let it run off your back, man. It doesn't even matter. It's not hurting you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It might come against you, make you feel some type of way, but it's not physically causing you pain unless you sit there and stress yourself to death. You know what I'm saying? But hey, just let haters hate. You know, there's people who hate to see people stop using, stop drinking, stop doing drugs, or stop doing this and doing that and start moving forward. You got people who might be in your life who supported the old person who wasn't on anything.
Yeah.
And then when you start doing better, next thing you know, they distance themselves. Next thing you know, they're looking at you crazy like, I don't like them, or that person might think they better than me, or man, look at them. They was just at this level, that level. I know with me, you know, when I was backsliding, I got back right with the Lord God, and started moving away from a lot of the old things I used to do. And I had people used to talk trash, man. Man, you were just doing this shit, man. You were just listening to this music, man. You were just out here clubbing. You was doing this, doing that. Like, dang, bro, you ain't happy because I'm trying to change my life, bro?
Yeah.
I'm trying to do better, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. See, exactly. I understand if you got questions, but if you really just don't like the fact, and like, yo, I'm not gonna mess with him because he's doing this, you're not my friend, man. Like, that's not your friend if they don't want to see you do better, spiritually, mentally, physically. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Financially. You got some people who will say they want you to do better, but they don't want you to do better than them. You know, when you say people, you got people who say they want you to do better, but then as soon as you start doing better, you don't even gotta get to that level. They just see you doing better, and they're like, nah, I don't really mess with you, because they've been wanting to see you down.
Yeah.
A lot of people just have certain people around to boost their egos.
Yeah, that too. Those type of people I really don't understand.
Yeah,
especially the people that you're talking about right there. They'll, you know, say you with one person and, you know, they're having a lot of money and, you know, they're turned up or whatever, and then, you know, and then here you are, you're messed up, but he got ways to make money or whatever, but he's bringing you around doing all this and that, and it's like you can kind of almost see it's like they're just like trying to be on some stuff where in front of other people they seem like they better than you, or like what's really going on.
Yeah.
You know, and I always thought that was kind of weird, especially being out in LA. Like in LA, like you would deal with, you know, certain types of people, weird people and stuff like that, and it don't make no sense, because I'm just a good genuine person all around.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just like, so by me even being that type of person, because I've also, you know, been an effed up type person.
Yeah.
You know, so I can see both sides of everything. So then I can just kind of already navigate and see, okay, this is what he's doing, you know what I'm saying? So I can judge character pretty good.
Yeah. Over time you get to learning, right?
Yeah,
but you're right though, it is. Honestly, it is like, it is weird activity, bro. I think it's weird, you know what I'm saying? But then I'm like, you know what it is, man? Those people, they got conscious issues within themselves that they're self-conscious about something they're trying to cover up for within themselves. They feel like they need this type of approval.
Yeah.
They might not have got it from somewhere growing up. They might not have had somebody hurt them or something, but they need this type of approval from people who they don't even like, might not even respect, but at the same time, just have them around for the perception that other people might have of them, like, yo, listen, I'm just this guy here, or I'm just way more than, but I'm just such a great, I'm just such a great guy, or I'm just such a great girl, or I just got all these people following me because I'm just such a great person. And really, what makes you so great? To be honest, you know what I'm saying? When you could just drop a person at the drop of a dime and not even care about the person, they could fall off the face of the earth, don't even care. They could end up in a hospital. You won't even go visit.
Yeah.
You don't care if they live or died. But you got these people around you like they're your friend, and then the next second they're not. Didn't do anything wrong, and then it's like, you know what, I just don't mess with them because I don't like them, really, their character. It doesn't work like that. You don't just, this isn't just your friend, and then you just don't like them for no reason, or just, I don't like the vibe. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it don't.
Friends, people, human beings, they go through arguments, they go through disagreements all the time. And then they come to an understand, okay, we're human beings, and things aren't always gonna be peach and cream, but if I mess with you, I mess with you.
Yeah.
And that's how it goes. It's 100, you know, 100%. So if you just saying you're not catching a vibe, but one little thing that he might say that I like, and then you got people who be like, yo, I still don't even know why they don't mess with me to this day. And they'll sit there worried about this person moved on, and they don't even care. They're just living their best life. You got another person might be thinking about something 5 or 10 years later because they really cared about a person who didn't even care about them.
Yeah. It'd be like that.
Yeah, and that's just because whoever that person was, and I want y'all to hear this, whoever that person was, they only had you around to boost their ego. I don't care what they might have gave you, whatever. They ain't mess with you like that, man. Because they mess with you like that, y'all be able to call and chop it up even if it was a year or two later. You know what, man?
Yeah,
I got
facts.
friends I don't even speak to but once yearly, maybe once every 2 years. But if I pick up the phone, hey, man, how you doing?
Just pick right back up.
Pick back up like we never left.
Yeah.
How you been on? How the fuck? You know why? Because we might be in different vicinities. We might be in different areas. It doesn't mean it's an issue. It doesn't mean that it's even beef. It's just, hey, listen, you got your life. We're grown. I got my life. You know what I'm saying? You're on this side of town, I'm on that side. You might be in this state. I might be in this state. You know, a phone call away. But we can still pick up like we never left off. You know what I'm saying? Yo, what happened? Man, we good. Chop it up and have a good conversation.
Mm-hmm. And that's family at that point.
Yeah.
That's family.
Yeah.
You
Facts.
know, if it comes to that, and it's just, you know, like you said, we're just, hey, call this dude or call this girl, homegirl, whatever it is, and they, you know, y'all chop it up like, you know, you never left. You know, and at that point, that's just family. And that's what I like to stick to, is me personally, family. Because them other people, like you talking about, you know, it can get dangerous, especially if you just running wild and out here in the streets or whatever you're doing. You know, them type of people, you know, it can get dangerous because some people got envy in their hearts and, you know, hatred in their hearts. And, you know, as soon as you pass them up, now they, you know, thinking crazy things.
Yeah.
They wanted to hurt you and do all this and do all that, you know. So I just try to stick to family. That's what I like to stick to.
That's a real friends, man, become family. That's facts, man. And then everybody else just throw them in the association square. Yeah, hey, it's not an issue with you, just that I understand where it's at. I'm not expecting you to show up to my people cookout.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not expecting you to pull up at Mom Duke's house, man, and be like, yo, Moms, how you doing, Moms? I'm not expecting that because we're not on that level. But it doesn't mean we're not cool. We're associates, and associates is fine. But don't make it seem like we're friends. Don't make it seem like you're going to say, what's up to my people? You going to pull up to Mom's house or Pops or whoever, people that's close to me, and then you're like, hey, Pops, how you doing? Mom, how you doing? And then just disappear and all of a sudden have a big issue over something that you shouldn't even just stop talking about, something that could be talked about, overcame or whatever. And now all of a sudden it's just, yo, I don't mess with you at all. Nah, bro. Yeah. Nah, don't do that. Don't do that. You'll get yourself hurt.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of people are walking around hurt, and they get into different so-called friendships, so-called relationships, and they live their whole life with broken friendships and relationships and can't never have a good friendship or relationship ever again.
Yeah.
Because they're holding on to that hurt.
No, I actually I got a tattoo on my arm right here. It actually says, you know, forgive those who done you wrong. You know, and just like you said, you know, if you hold it on to, you know, this person hurt me or broke my heart or did this or do that, you know, you ain't never gonna be able to move on from that moment in time. You just always gonna be stuck in that moment, and you're gonna be replaying that moment in your head, and you'll just never be able to get over it. You know, so I'm definitely a big believer in that.
Nah, facts,
you know,
man.
forgiving people or forgiving situations that, you know, they done you wrong or whatever, but it's just better to forget and forgive rather than just to hold on to it and just mope about it and cry about it and be down on them, you know, all the time.
Yeah, exactly. And I always go back. I know y'all might look at this and be like, oh man, you're always teaching, what? Preaching the things. Well, yo, I gotta throw this Bible verse out for y'all. Mark 11:26 says, if you don't forgive, the Father in heaven won't forgive you. So that's something you just gotta think about, man. The Lord Christ forgave us. God forgave us. How can you not forgive someone else? You know what I'm saying? So just remember that, man. Work out what's in your heart, man. Work out to forgive, man. At the end of the days, we're all just human beings, and move with the love of God, man. That's all I gotta say. So, alcohol was your thing. Do you still like to drink alcohol to this day?
Periodically. Like on, you know, like certain occasions or.
Cause you said you never wanted to be a drinker, but that is your go-to if you was to do something with drinking.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like I ain't gonna sit here and just get blackout drunk or whatever, but you know, if there's a football game on or, you know, hanging out with a girl, want a little bottle of wine or something, you know, I ain't gonna overdo it to the point where I become a problem, become, you know, violent or, you know, things like that, just real casual.
Yeah. What are some of your plans for the future right now? You came to First Step Recovery.
Yeah.
And what are some of your plans now from this point, and what do you expect out of yourself and out of maybe the program to be able to start accomplishing with your goals and dreams?
I mean,
and how do you like it so far? I know you've been here like not a week, but
about a week.
How do you like it so far, honestly?
I mean, I do like the program, and I am grateful for the program, you know, that I have, you know, somewhere to sleep and have somewhere warm where I'm not outside right now where it's raining. Because some people are out there right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I am very grateful for the program, but, you know, I've come to like the program more. You know, I came here at first and, you know, waking up, we got to wake up at 6 in the morning and I'm like, bro, why we waking up at 6, but we leave at 8:30? You know, and I'd be mad about that. and then coming to class, I'm like, bro, this shit, like, or this stuff, like, I don't need this, and like, it don't pertain to me really, and you know, just being kind of, you know, mad about it. just being here and have to do it and all this stuff. But I've came to, you know, enjoy it. Not really enjoy it like where I'm like happy, but just as far as like just going through it and just like, okay, you might benefit for something, you know?
Yeah.
Like there might be something that you need to learn or, you know, that you need to hear. So it's just like, you know, I'm starting to be okay with it rather than being mad about it.
Yeah.
But, you know, as far as my goals, you know, my goals has always been the same since, you know, God told me my mission, you know, and I believe that God put me here for like disciple work as far as like on a big scale, on a large scale, that's going to reach the masses. So I feel like that's what I'm here for. And I understand like the pauses that happen in between before I get to reintroduce myself to the world. I understand those things because I can't come too early. I can't arrive too early for the blessing and for, you know, what my mission is. So I understand those things, even though it's frustrating at times, where it's like, you know, I feel like I'm behind in life or this and that, but it's just like, you know, it's just God really just preparing me mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and just, you know, being around certain people. So then that way, when I speak to the world, you know, they can really feel it in their soul and their heart and things like that. So, you know, that's definitely first and foremost my goal, because I've always put like everything into it. I've risked literally everything and always put my heart and everything into, you know, what I believe God has me here for. You know, and just, you know, I've also learned, which I'm actually glad I'm going through what I am right now, because, you know, like I said, I've always risked everything in my life to be where I want to be, but by doing so, you know, it'll set me back, you know, and that's why I'm here right now, you know, because I don't have nothing. I came here with, you know, I've been wearing this same pants, same everything for, you know, about 2 weeks, you know, so, you know, what I've really learned is, you know, building a solid foundation for myself while I'm waiting to get to where I'm supposed to be at, instead of just being like, okay, well, I've been at the bottom before and I know I'll get up out of here. But instead of just going through the same pattern, like just building a solid foundation for myself. So that's definitely what I've been learning here recently, for sure.
That's a great thing to hear right there. And that's good because and the thing about waking up even 6 in the morning, things like that, and you going from not liking it to kind of find a joy in it, is because, you know, we're made to do some type of work. We're made to do something. So even if we're out there, we won't function right, and not even under God's eyes, unless we have some type of program set up for us every day. And discipline, you know, what the word talk about, you know, and like you said, with discipleship comes discipline. So God has you here for a reason. You have to build that self-discipline. So you got to go through your time building that up. Like you said, building a strong foundation, man, because God used you, but you're not gonna be able to reach your full potential and purpose if you got a shaky foundation. You know what I'm saying? Once you build it on something strong and you're solid, you got some good morals, you got some good speaking points, you got some good things. And like you said, you might not be able to relate with other people, but God might have you here so you can start relating to other people who might have done harder drugs than you, who might have been in different situations than you, who might have been or had worse situations you have, or better situations, whatever it might have been. And you learn from that, and then you're able to actually vibe more with different people, different cultures, different backgrounds, different things like that. And then it'll make you more efficient disciple. You know, the Bible talks about being fishers of men. Basically being able to, you know, lead people to Christ and finding out the best way to do it. I realize it's a technique, you know, and the more versed you are, the more you learn, the better understanding you have in life, the better you could reach a person, and the more God can use you.
Yeah.
So just look at it as a learning ground. I don't think it's anybody that God used that he hasn't put in isolation at some point in time.
No, there was a Bible verse that I seen. It said even Jesus himself, in his previous life, he didn't even have a home himself. It said something about like that. I forget what Bible verse it was, but it said he didn't even have somewhere to lay his head.
Yeah. It said that. It was a time that he was out there. You know what I'm saying? He's walking around where he lays his head. This is God.
Thugging it, huh?
Yeah,
Jesus thugging it, 80.
This God Almighty in the flesh. We talking about and didn't even have a place to lay his head. You know what I'm saying? Hanging around what society looked at as the worst of the worst, but it's God in the flesh. So that just shows the mercy that God has and the love that he has for the people. You know what I'm saying? And it's even times he had to go through that 40-day temptation in the wilderness. You know, I had to go through that temptation, overcome it, come back. Dying on the cross, had to overcome that, come back. If you don't believe it, I mean, we're not going to get into that, but it's plenty biblical truths inside and outside of the Bible. Archaeological proof also, let's just put that in there too, believe it or not. But all that, you know what I'm saying? And didn't even have a place to lay their head. So you got to understand, just even looking throughout the Bible, just look at just people who did great things, man.
Yeah.
They was at that time of isolation. They was at that time that they had to go through learning, had that time to get right. Some people start off younger. Some people start off older.
Yeah.
You know, but the important thing is you realize you got that vision, and long as you follow it, God's gonna get you, man. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna get you where you're supposed to be. He's gonna get you. We can't get there ourselves, people. Key thing about learning and recovery from anything, from traumatic disorders, from whatever you recover from substance abuse, from severe mental illness, whatever you're recovering from, depression, whatever, it's gonna take time, it's gonna take steps. You know what I'm saying? And we gotta realize we don't try, like you said, you tried it yourself. You know, it doesn't work. I tried it myself, you tried it yourself. You put God first, man. I'm gonna tell you this, man, God ain't gonna leave you wrong, man. And you're gonna be able to fulfill your purpose. Appreciate you coming on, bro.
Hell yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell to the people, bro?
You know, I guess, you know, I got new music coming out. Artist name is Baby Jesus. I just want to tell you guys that things here soon is going to get very real in the world. And what I mean by real in the world is definitely like we're coming to the beginning of the end. Like we're headed towards prophecy times. It's going to get very real out here. There's going to be a lot of, you know, there's going to be a lot of confusion where you're not going to know what to believe. You're going to have certain types of people saying one thing. You're going to have other people saying a certain thing. But it's up to you and yourself to really tap into God's voice. And that's called your intuition. So that little tiny voice that's in your head, you got to really listen to it. Because we're coming towards, you know, like I said, prophecy times, and it's going to be confusing for a lot of people. And so I just want y'all to know that, and just, you know, be ready and be prepared, and have your faith strong, and just, you know, just be ready for sure.
I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
And remember, man, hey, if y'all need any help, don't hesitate to reach out to us. And, you know, just a quick Bible verse to end it off, man. Like, God is not the author of confusion. So just remember, you got to keep your eyes on God, not the storm, on God. Like you said, we're at that time, people. We're at that time.
Yeah,
I highly believe that. I don't only believe that, I know that, and everybody's seeing the shift in the atmosphere, what's going on worldwide. So we just stay prayed up, stay ready, stay vigilant, stay disciplined, and put God first. Love you all, and have a blessed day.